Hello there, welcome to Learner's Paradise. In this video, we'll examine what a property element is with an example. So to start with, let's open our Microsoft Visual Studio Express 2013. Let's click on File, New Project, and to Visual C#, select WPF application and give the name of a project. Let us give something like a PE demo, property element demo. Click on OK, and our project should be created. Let's just roll up this window. We don't need the above designer view. Let's make it full size. So this is the default code, skeleton code that we get. Make sure you are on main window.xaml, and then within this block let us create a button. Content is equal to OK. Let us assign the property attribute content equal to OK, and property attribute font size is equal to 20. Then property attribute font weight is equal to bold. Let us close this object element and let us run this and see what happens. I get a very big button because by default we have not given the width and height. It takes it as stretched. So now there is another way to create this button. Let us see how it is. It is by using this syntax. We'll have to specify the type name button dot property name, which is content here, and then close the tags, and then in between this opening and closing tags we'll have to write the value that was OK earlier. So let us do the same thing for font size equal to 20, type name button dot property name content, font size plus 20. Let's do the same thing for font weight also. Button dot font weight equal to is bold. Now let's run this and see what happens. Well, there is no change. It is the same as before. So now the question is, why will somebody write these extra lines of code when you can do it in a single line? Well, there is a reason. Let's go to MSDN and examine say this content property is of what type. MSDN says the content property is of type object. It is not just string. Remember, we gave content is equal to OK, which made it look like content might be a string property, but it's not. It's an object. So when it's an object, we can put anything into it, right? So that's cool, isn't it? We can put a image onto a button, we can put a square, we can put a rectangle. Let's try putting a rectangle into content to see if it works. So to do this, we cannot use the earlier syntax where we said button content is equal to OK, and instead of OK I cannot just put a rectangle here or something. This is not allowed. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to use this format, and then let us remove OK here, and then try putting a rectangle in between. Rectangle height 50 and width as 50, and let's fill it up with some color, say black. So let's run this and see what happens. Well, there you go. We have successfully added a rectangle into the content property. Well, because the width and height are same, it looks like a square. And doesn't it look like a stop button on a media player? It's cool, isn't it? And one more thing to notice here is when we say button dot content, it cannot have its own properties. What I mean is you cannot say button dot content and space height is equal to something or weight is equal to something. Yeah, so this is this syntax is called property element syntax, where we put the type name dot property name, and then we add other objects into it. So I hope now property element makes sense to you. Thank you.